Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Black Lives Matter mutiny. Michael Brown's father joins the BLM chapters demanding to know what the foundation did with $90 million. A group comprised of the original 10 chapters of Black Lives Matter and some newer chapters have called for the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation to provide financial transparency and internal accountability. The splinter BLM group is gaining momentum following the mutiny from the parent Black Lives Matter organization after the father of Michael Brown lent his support of questioning the motives of the Black Lives Matter Foundation. BLM 10 Plus, the original 10 signatories, and the other chapters and organizers that remain steadfast in our open calls for accountability from the BLM Global Network Foundation, or we could say the BLMGN, and Patrisse Cullors. In November 2020, the BLM chapters issued a public demand for the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation to provide financial transparency. The BLM Global Network Foundation took in over $90 million in 2020, according to the Associated Press. To the best of our knowledge, most chapters have received little to no financial support from BLMGN since the launch in 2013. BLM 10 Plus said it was only in the last few months that selected chapters appear to have been invited to apply for a $500,000 grant created with resources generated because of the organizing labor of chapters. This is not the equity and financial accountability we deserve. A report was released last June claiming that only 6% of BLMGN spending went to local chapters and grassroots organizations, while millions went toward travel and staff compensation. Following the release of the damning statement against the Black Lives Matter Foundation, chapter names were promptly removed from the BLMGN website, according to BLM 10 Plus. The revolt by BLM chapters against the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation is now in full swing. BLM 10 Plus released a new statement this week. BLM 10 Plus claimed that nepotism, proximity to power, and access to resources became more important to the network than making sure that they had a radical vision, objectives, and strategies created through a transparent, democratic decision-making process and a solid foundation of shared governance and political alignment. The salaries, such as those of Patrisse Cullors, other founders, and staff, have never been reported to chapters. The press release, which is titled "Tell No Lies," said, "As we labor to build grassroots movements in our communities, our engagement with BLMGN was always problematic and unsupportive. BLM 10 Plus declared we never knew who made decisions or how decisions-making processes were determined. The group said BLMGN has come to reflect the problematic nonprofit industrial complex it criticized. The only reason BLMGN has been able to amass millions of dollars from grants and donations is because of the pain of families who have lost loved ones to state violence and the grassroots campaigns we as local chapters and organizers have waged across the country without their support," the news release said. The reason control of those resources was able to be hoarded from families, chapters, and organizers is that those referred to as founders and those close to them allowed themselves to be elevated by the corporate media and other tools of the system that perpetuates ongoing violence against our communities. BLM 10 Plus claims to have the support of several parents of sons who were killed by the police. Parents calling for BLMGNF accountability include Samaria Rice, mother of Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old boy who had a toy gun and was fatally shot in Cleveland by police in 2014. Lisa Simpson, the mother of Richard Risher, who was shot and killed in 2016 by police in Los Angeles. And Michael Brown Sr., the father of Michael Brown, who was fatally shot in 2014 by police in Ferguson. Families of those who were lost to police violence spoke out and also demanded accountability. BLM 10 Plus stated, "Last month, grief-stricken mothers blasted the BLM Global Network Foundation for benefiting off the blood of their sons who died from police shootings. The mothers questioned the intentions of BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors, who they say is going to take the money and run. Cullors, who is a self-proclaimed trained Marxist, went on a real estate spending spree, which brought major suspicions on the finances of the Black Lives Matter organization. Cullors stepped down from her position last month. And we know why she stepped down. Because she was going to be indicted and they were going to look into her books. They were going to look into things. So basically, the pink folk who are in her back pocket and who's helping her basically told her, look, you just need to step down so this doesn't destroy, and that they got her out of there because they're going to use her down the line. This is what they do. They use blacks to attract other blacks. And when they do that, it basically skews your way of thinking. And this has been the problem for millennia. Like everyone has said that, look, they go off of the pain. They go off of the pain of, oh, well, we're here to support you because your son was killed by the police violence. Not just the police violence. Let's talk about the black on black crimes and why we're not calling the government out for putting militarized weapons in black communities, especially that of low income areas like a Chicago, a New York, a LA. Not even them, just major metropolitan cities, as well as small towns and cities as well, like small cities like where I'm from, St. Petersburg, Florida. Why are they putting these weapons that are militarized, that are not supposed to be on the street, giving it to kids? Why is dope and all of these drugs being put in? No one has ever asked those questions or tried to press the government. The government is behind all of this stuff. They want chaos. They want a controlled chaos. That's how they operate. That's how they run the world. That's how they run the U.S. in particularly. They want to continuously feeding us and our forefathers and those younger than us the same bullshit that they've been feeding us for years. That if you vote and you could get things done, but it's who you vote for. Your city councils are important. Your governor is important because they control what goes on in your state and they control what goes on in your cities as the mayor. You have to go after your mayor and the city council. The president doesn't deal with that shit. The president is only dealing with federal laws. We have got to wake up. Now, I'm not an activist. I don't want to be. I don't want to be your leader. You can lead your goddamn self. You go to the store, you get you that Duhan yourself. You go to the club, you get that fine chick yourself. You do all this stuff yourself. But when it comes time to put your hands in the grease, you're not even trying to lead. You're just sitting back watching. Lead yourself. We need leaders. We don't need followers. We don't need no more fucking marches. All right? Kill all that marching shit. That marching shit is dead. All right? We need to come up with finances, financial stability. We need to come up with ways to teach these kids coding, teach these kids a trade instead of education. Education is not going to get you far. Kwame Brown Bus Life and Casino for Life, before Kwame got on here, Casino for Life, Ticket TV, and some others, Jada Black, have been preaching self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency. They've been preaching that. And I've said on my channel since I've started, if I could turn back the hands of time, I would turn my degrees in and I would go get a trade. And that's what I'm working on now. I'm going to go get a trade. I just have to narrow it down to what I want to work on first, knock that out, then move on. My problem is I try to think of 100 things and try to do all those 100 things instead of just focusing on one. But what we need to do is, like I was telling Chris Cervantes last night, if ever I come into some money or make some big money, I want to open a school that teaches coding and teaches trade and teaches everything to teach a man or woman how to be self-sufficient. That's what we need. We don't need the same bull crap education that's not leading our kids nowhere. All it's doing is telling them you follow this boss. You're supposed to be a worker. No, I'm tired of that. We got to get out of that mindset of working and working. We work these jobs for 40, 50 years. And about time we retire, we're 1 foot into the grave. We can't enjoy it. So my thing is, we have to put these people on notice. I'm sorry for Michael Brown and the others that lost their sons. But look, you can't trust people in an organization. People in these organizations are just worried about money. You have to be there from day one. Don't just say here, don't delegate that to them because they don't care. I'm not blaming him or nothing. Don't take this as a blame because I know you idiots on the internet don't know how to comprehend or process information. Y'all just take what I say, like one part of it, and then make it into something else. And that's what you guys love to do. Y'all don't understand the context that I'm trying to explain. And nobody has really talked about this story. They brought it out, but nobody is pressing this issue. Everybody is too busy trying to hate on Kwame Brown bus life instead of looking at what the fuck he's talking about. Nobody has challenged or talked about the points he has made, like coding for these kids, like getting shoes for these boys who are big, who are wearing size 13 or 14s. I've had friends like that growing up. They just couldn't find the shoe size, and it wasn't shoes made for them. What about the trays? Like he says, you should have a minimum of 2 trays, but you really should have 3. You guys aren't talking about this. You guys keep talking about him calling them Becky with the good hair or CB4 or Moist Watkins. Forget the name shit. Look at what he's talking about. He's exposed all these guys. Charlemagne can't accept no, the God. So we have to look at all of this stuff. You guys are not paying attention to what it is and what the problem is. You guys are celebrating a goddamn holiday in Juneteenth. Fuck Juneteenth. We need our reparations. We need to fight for that. But see, the mindset is like that one guy who came to my page is, they're never going to give that to us. Well, yeah, because you're thinking that way. But if a bunch of us get together and come up with the game plan instead of just one guy going out there to fight by himself, then we could get a lot of things done. But you niggas don't want to do that. Y'all don't want to support the organizations, the real ones trying to do something. And they're around. You have to look them up. I don't know them by name. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't know them by name. I've heard of them, but I don't know them by name right now. I will do my research and I will let you guys know in the description box whenever I can. I work hours a day, but that's not an excuse. So I blame myself for not taking the extra initiative to get that information to you guys. And I'm going to be better doing that. That's why I'm hoping I could get some help from my family, on some things, but I can't expect that. I have to go out here and get it done because that's what a man does. But these people are continuously making money off of our pain. They're allowing these kids they're taking away all of their rec centers. They've been doing this for a decade or more. They got rid of all the rec centers. They got rid of all the after school programs because they want nothing but chaos. Come on, we got to wake up. If you guys don't see what's going on, I don't know what else to tell you. This stuff continues. I don't make videos all day about the blacks being shot by the police because we're still not taking care of the blacks being killed by blacks. Yes, I understand the police are doing it, but look, we have to hold ourselves and the police accountable. We have to knock all of these stones out. We have to knock all of these down. Okay? So I'm not going to keep you too long. I just wanted to bring that out. Michael Brown Sr. is basically blasting it. This is why Patrice Culler, whatever her name is, she stepped down, because she was going to get prosecuted, because they were going to look into her funds and see what she did. But by her stepping down, it basically lessens the blow to her. But this is the problem that we've been having. Malcolm X and all the other that passed away said this, that they will send fake Negroes to you as pastors or spiritual guidance or spiritual counselors, whatever you call them, and or spiritual warriors, and they will misguide you and they will mislead you. And they've been doing this for a long time. So we have to grow up and start looking into our own selves and doing what we have to do. We don't need organizations. We don't need organizations to help us build our community. We could build it ourselves. We could police it ourselves. We just have to get that fear out of our heart. You got to get that fear out your heart. You know, I had to leave my situation. I would be in St. Pete right now if I could and tried to help it. But I had to leave to financially take care of my family. It's hard, because sometimes you have to move from where you're at because there's no jobs. There's no nothing. So you have to go somewhere to better your position. And that's what I had to do. And I don't regret it. But as a man, I'm going to tell the truth about the bullshit that's going on. And this is the bullshit. We got to stop supporting the NAACP and BLM and put real people in charge who have a heart, not those in charge who are just about gain. Thank you for listening. We are out. Deezy.